Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Welcome to another review of a vintage German classic beauty. This time I have for you this wonderful KAWECO Dia 805 that I recently bought. It was part of a lot of 3 German writing instruments, and I got it for a steal, guys. I paid for it only 200 lays, or the equivalent of 40.26 euros, or 42.82 US dollars. A wonderful, wonderful piece. We are talking about a piece from the early 1950s. And you can see it is in a wonderful, wonderful condition. It is an oblique medium fountain pen, KAWECO Dia engraved, thermically engraved, and also painted with this gold color. And I already have in my collection similar KAWECO Dias. I have right here two KAWECO Dias 803, and one is a simple 803 with an oblique double broad nib, and one is the variant 80307. But I also have a KAWECO Dia 807. Let me zoom a little bit. You can see an 807. And let me show them to you in comparison. So those are the 803s. This is the 805, and this is the 807. You can see there are differences between them in length, but also the 807 is a fatter pen, and also the 805. So those are the comparisons between the different models. We will check them out. I will definitely compare them. So let's take, for example, this 803. I will zoom a little bit. This is the 07 version. I was searching for this one. The 803 with the oblique double broad nib, in comparison with the 805 with the oblique medium one. Let me check and let me compare them side by side. And probably, yes, I will do also a comparison with the 807, which is the biggest. And those particular ones are quite original, and I will start from the beautiful, beautiful KAWECO clip, and also the interesting logo at the top of the cap. This one, the KAWECO Dia 803, has this interesting green ink window, but the 805 has this dark caramel or dark brown ink window, and this is a clue about their, let's say, their production years. The first production ones are these ones with the darker ink windows, and I also have on my desk some beautiful KAWECO Sports to show and to compare them. So this is with a darker ink window, and this is a newer generation from the 1960s, fitted, as you can see, with the semi-hooded nib, and this is injected plastic, and those are celluloids. But even in the words of the celluloids, we can see slightly differences in the ink windows depending on the years of the production of those pens. So definitely when I will check and I will do the writing sample with this oblique medium at the end of the video, I will compare it with the oblique double broad nib of the 803. If we look closely at the nibs, there's no big differences between them. Interesting enough, on the 803 they're slightly elongated, and this is a fatter nib in my point of view. Of course, there's a difference between the OM and the oblique double broad nib, but basically they are built roughly the same. So this is one of the comparisons I wanted to make. And now, guys, I want to show you a slight comparison with the bigger version. Unfortunately enough, at the bigger version, it lacks these rings at the cap. But basically, we can see that the cap is the same, including the clip. It has the same clip and the same logo on top of it. I'm not so sure if this 807 is fitted with the original M nib. Let me see. I think yes, it has a replacement nib. In fact, it has a Romanian Flaro steel nib, gold-plated iridium 51FK. So definitely a replacement nib, and somebody extracted the original gold nib in a crude way, and you can see the feeder was affected. I hate it when they do this to the fountain pens, but it is what it is. The beautiful ebonite feeder is affected. But I wanted to compare the two pieces. Interesting enough, also the 807 has this dark ink window, so this is the first, let's say, generation. But again, it's slightly bigger than the Dia 805 I am going to talk about today. So leave them aside. I'm curious to see this 007 if it has the nib. Yes, also KAWECO nib, but this nib is slightly affected. Of course, we will compare them. Also, you can notice on this the dark ink window, so also an early version of this one. So let's me talk now, guys, about this particular one, the KAWECO Dia, a real workhorse, a very famous KAWECO. It is probably the most used KAWECO. I've also showed you the KAWECO Sports, but those were more, let's say, practical and small note takers. But this is the real workhorse of the KAWECO back then. Affordable fountain pen for school use for students, and a viable, let's say, alternative to the Pelicans and the Mont Blancs of that period of time. You can see the trend, the cigar shape design back at the early 1950s. Interesting enough, this isn't symmetrical. You can see that the cap resembles mostly the designs of the 1930s. I still look at it, and when I see this clip, it reminds me of the 1930s. Certainly, KAWECO did some innovations back in the 1950s, but I like this classic old style. Of course, it's made in this black classic version, which was predominant back then in Germany. And this particular model it has a personalization right over here, guys. So this is a logo. It seems like a 2 in Roman numerals and two wings out there. If you recognize this logo, guys, please leave some clues in the comments. Not so sure. Probably a German firm back in the 1950s. As you can see, it is wonderful. This is the first generation based on the darker ink window, and it is made out of celluloid. The nib is a gold nib, 14 karat, in a wonderful condition. This at the back we have the ebonite feeder, which is quite wonderful. What I love about the KAWECO is the fact that along the model type 805 we have also the size of the nib. And of course this is a piston filler with an ink window and a blind cap. I'm sorry, I've just cleaned this. Maybe it has some leaks over here. I'm not so sure, but you can see I've stained myself. I've just wanted to make this as clear as I could, so I operated the piston and clean it with water, and probably it needs some sealing over here. Yes, definitely. Okay, so this is it. The piston is still working. I'm not so sure if you can see in this lighting, guys, but definitely the piston is functional. And look at this leakage. Yes, very strange, guys. It seems to leak. It seems to have some, yes, you can see from here. Strange. Definitely the piston and probably a corkscrew piston, based on the fact that this is one of the earliest models. So right at the end of the piston we have a corkscrew, and definitely needs to be replaced with a plastic one. Probably this is the reason that the ink is going this way, and it helps also the force of gravity because I hold it like this. No problem, guys. I wanted to show you that we have a blind cap over here. And practically this is the wonderful KAWECO Dia. I will leave also the dimensions of the KAWECO 805 on the screen, and after that I will change the angle of the camera, and I will do some writing samples. And I'm sorry, guys, due to the fact that we have this leakage, I will just dip the fountain pen in ink. I hope that the feeder will do its job and will accommodate enough ink for us to do a decent writing sample. So now I will change the angle of the camera, and I will prepare my notepad. Okay, like this, guys. And now let me prepare my notepad. And basically this is my notepad, guys, over here. We will concentrate, of course, on how this wonderful 805 with an oblique medium nib writes. But I have also a curiosity, and probably I will do also writing samples with the KAWECO Sports and also with the other Dias to see like a curiosity, guys, to see how they write. So first of all, let me see what ink I will use. Yes, I think I have this Parker Quick ink. It's almost finished, but I will open it like this. Yes, always, guys, be prepared. You always have a tissue on your desk. So this is the OM, and like I told you, I won't fill it. I will just dip it in this ink like this, guys. I will hold it for a few seconds. Now I will remove the excess of the ink. What I'm interested in is removing the excess from the grip section. You can see the grip section is quite in a straight line. Is slightly concave here, but very slightly. So here, guys, I have, let me zoom a little bit for you to see better the writing sample. I have a beautiful KAWECO Dia 805. This is made in Germany in the early 1950s. It is fitted with a wonderful 14 karat 585 gold nib, an oblique medium nib. Let me tell you, it is a quite smooth nib. So I have here a oblique medium nib. I'm curious enough to see if we have some flexibility to this nib, and look at it, guys. We certainly have something. If you see, yes, definitely we have a little flex, which is specific to the gold nibs and the steel nibs made by the Germans in the early 1950s. It is a wonderful nib. We don't see this kind of flexible, slightly flexible nibs in the modern gold nibs. It needs to be also a juicy nib, and let me show you. And you can see the characteristics of the oblique nibs, you can see. And let me see if we have some line variance, guys. So here, no pressure. And now I'm starting to apply pressure. And you can see no visible line variance. It seems to be quite nice as a signature pen, as you can see right over here. And now let me see what I can do. Yes, I must see if we have in reverse writing. Definitely it writes in reverse writing. It writes also like a medium one in comparison with the OM it usually writes. So definitely a possibility, the reverse writing. And now, guys, let me tell you about the Fox. So let me zoom a little bit. Yes, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So quite nice. I'm quite impressed about this oblique medium nib, and we will leave it aside for a minute. And now we will dip in ink. Let me see what this one. So bear in mind, guys, this is slightly affected. I'm not so sure how it will write, but let me see. Also, I think I will write about the quick brown fox. And again, bear in mind, this, I'm not so sure about the nib, so yes, this is definitely a problem nib. I will try to write it like this, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Definitely it needs to be repaired. The tines are misaligned, but I will do it. I'm not so sure why, when, but definitely I think I will fix it. And now let me show you how an oblique double broad one writes. Again, I will just dip it in ink, remove the excess of ink, and write with it like this. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Let me tell you guys, the oblique double broad one is amazing. It's just as smooth as the oblique medium one, but you can see it writes like this. Definitely a good signature pen. Look at it in comparison with the others, and very, very smooth. And just for the sake of it, guys, let me write also with the 807. Bear in mind, not the original nib, a Romanian nib, a replacement nib. We will see how it writes, and it scratches a little bit. Not a good performer, so no no go for this one. But I've promised you also to see this one, and this is another oblique double broad one. You can see KAWECO Sport 12. I'm curious to see in comparison with the other one, double oblique one. Whoa, amazing. And it brown fox jumps. Oh, sorry guys, you can't see what I'm doing here. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And amazing, guys, we have another oblique one, and let me show you this one. It's very, very interesting. This is on the Dia, and this is on the other one. They are, I should say, the same. They write the same. But also I promised you to show you how this semi-hooded one works. This is from a V12. V stands for a semi-hooded nib, and F stands for the size of the nib. Also, I'm dipping it, and let me see here. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. What can I tell you, guys? There is a reason for my love of oblique nibs. This is the KAWECO Dia 805 OM. What can I tell you, guys? If you see a German nib, an oblique nib from the 1950s, a gold nib, a fountain pen fitted with a gold nib, just buy it, because you won't regret it. So this was the review of the KAWECO Dia 805. I want to wish you to have a wonderful day, my friends, wherever you are. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry about this lengthy video, but I thought to myself that this is a nice way to show you the different capabilities of the nibs made made by the same producer in the same period of times. They rate quite different, and this is why you should try all sorts of nib sizes. This was the review of the KAWECO Dia 805 OM, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you again in the next episode. Till then, bye bye, and God bless you all, my dear friends.